Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These are the horoscopes for the week ending October 3rd, 2015, and we have a fantastic week going on this week, and we're kicking it off with a full moon, a super moon, and a blood moon eclipse to boot. And we've had a lot of eclipses in the last couple of years. We've had two in the last 2 years, and they've been very significant, roughly happening about the same time, which doesn't happen very often. This is the last of the four, which means we're not going to have another one of these until 2033, or about 30 some odd years from now. So get out there, go take a look at it, and enjoy it if you can, because it's happening earlier for us this time around instead of the wee hours of the morning. It's actually happening for us in Pacific time. It's actually happening before the sun even goes down. So it's really exciting. Get out there, cleanse your stones, do whatever you do when the energy of the moon is this high, and whatever you do, it's definitely a cardinal full moon. So you want to make sure that you're going through with your changes instead of trying to stand in the way of change. It's going to be a lot easier if you run through the punches. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and get started and see who's impacted by this super moon the most. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Aries. Of course, the number one sign that's impacted by this supermoon is Aries, being that this is an Aries full moon this week. So you got lots and lots of energy to either boost you forward or get in your way and make things frustrating when things don't seem to be going the way that you want them to. And you can use this energy, obviously, one way or another. Everybody has a choice. And unfortunately, as the moon moves into conjunction with Uranus and moves into opposition with the sun, causing the full moon, she's also going to be moving into opposition with Mercury and, of course, T-squared with Pluto there. So it's going to be a bit of a sticky situation, and it really makes you feel like you're torn in between two different things. There's always something getting in the way of what you want to do. It's going to create all of these little issues that really just become huge issues. Now, do you want to avoid that? You can, of course. Tackle the little issues as and when they come and let them go. Don't hold on to them. This is one way that will help you keep it from being a big, huge mess. And the other thing that's really important, of course, is to really look at how this is affecting you on an emotional level. Of course, you're going to want to get frustrated and you're going to want to lash out, but the more frustration that gets in the way, of course, it is also getting in the way of clearly being able to see where you're going. Now, Uranus is also trined with Venus still. Venus is in its last week in Leo, and so it's going to be pretty much in this last full week of this trine at the same time. And when the moon joins it earlier on this week, you've got a very deep reason why you need to go towards those goals and dreams that you love. So really, what it really comes down to in this particular point is you got the frustrations, you got these things, all these things going on, that's okay. But you can let them get to you, which is going to make it more difficult for you to move forward in your goals. Or you can say, I dealt with that one. I dealt with that one. Move on and just keep on moving towards your goals, because really, you're the only one standing in the way. And make sure that you do this, and remember to have faith in yourself, because you're the one that's going to get you there, not everybody else. So you guys, just embrace that power and have a great week with that. Taurus, it's a great week to be a Taurus this week. We're going to first kick off at the beginning of the week with the part of fortune in your sign for one day, bringing you some luck and a boost of energy when it comes to getting your things done. All those things that you need to do on a daily basis, or if you've had a bit of a pile up of things that you need to do and you haven't gotten to yet, this is a beautiful energy to get things done. Also on Tuesday, the moon comes into your sign, and after being such a powerful moon in supermoon position after a lunar eclipse, it's a very powerful energy. And when she comes into your sign, she comes into your sign in very helpful ways, especially as she creates this beautiful grand Earth trine between Jupiter and Pluto. And this is all about success. It's all about getting things done. It's all about growth. Now, when you have that external stuff kind of sort of piling up, it always affects you on an internal level. I don't know about you guys, and I'm not a Taurus, but when I go through this and I have a lot to do and things just keep piling on top of that, you know, all those things that need to do, it really just makes me feel like I don't want to do any of it and go crawl into a hole. And this is probably the Taurus way too. This week it's all about weeding through that pile of stuff and actually accomplishing something. And when you get those things done, oh, it feels like a huge weight is lifted off your shoulders. So this week it really is all about action. It's all about getting things done and learning that you don't have to worry about things piling up if you just consistently put a little bit of time into it every single day. Pretty soon you'll get it all done and you'll have nothing to do. You might be bored, and you might also have time to do something that you want to do. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, when the moon comes into your sign Thursday through Saturday, you are going to be experiencing a bit of a challenge. It is a big challenge, and luckily, because it's the moon bringing it in, it's just a very small one, and it only lasts one day, which is good. We're talking about a mutable Grand Cross aspect here with Jupiter and Mars and Saturn and Neptune. It's going to be a biggie, and it's really going to feel like you got all of these things that you need to do and no time to do it. And on top of that, it seems that everybody else is sort of coming in and they need something to do also, or they need you to do something for them. And so it's a constant distraction. And for you Geminis, your own brain is enough of a distraction. Sometimes you really don't need all these people coming in and distracting you, but they all need something. And it's the heart that says, no, I can't say no to these people. I have to help them. This weekend, especially on Thursday, when this aspect is really, really strong, you want to say no every once in a while, especially if it's something or somebody that keeps popping up over and over and over again, needing all the time. You deserve to do the things that you need to do and progress in the way that you need to progress without having all of these constant distractions going on from external sources. So this week it really is all about prioritization. If you feel that these people keep coming up and they're getting in your way, chances are it's the universe saying, this is the challenge, and the answer to this challenge is you gotta say no every so often and do what you need to do. Those people will be there later on afterwards. They should be understanding, and if they're not, well then shame on them, because if what they need is so important, they need to understand that what you need is just as important too. The rest of the week is going to be smooth sailing in terms of getting things done, which is really, really, really good. It's just a little bit of an issue there on Thursday, but you'll get through it and everything will be great. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, personal health issues can be a real pain. Like literally, they can be a real pain for everybody. And I'm talking the little ones, not the huge ones, of course, that go on for long periods of time. I'm talking about the little ones, those ones that come and go as they come and go. And it can be a real problem, especially when they seem to come up always at the most inopportune times. This week, if this comes up, it's really important to really identify with what's going on in your life at the time that these things are coming up. You may find that if it's stressful situations, this is why this is coming up. Or if you're holding on to something emotionally, this is why you're having this health issue. And if it's something that comes and goes on a regular basis, you really want to identify what's going on externally to see if maybe there's a connection between what you're going through physically, health-wise, and what you're going through externally in your life. You never know. Being able to identify, let's say that it's a stressful situation at work and you have to deal with this person, and once a month you got to deal with this person, and once a month when you're dealing with this person you wind up having this health issue. Then you know it's connected in some way to dealing with this person. Now of course the easy answer would be, okay, I'm not working with this person anymore. That doesn't work very well. You may omit that person only to have them replaced by somebody who's just as bad, if not worse than that person. So really the issue here is internally within you somewhere. What is it about this person that's causing the stress? Why are they causing the stress? And above all, most important, why are you taking on their stress or their issues and turning it into a physical ailment for yourself? You know, you don't have to do that, guys. So this week really is all about taking a look and identifying where these little pains are coming from, when they're coming, and what you need to do for you to stop that from happening so you really don't have to suffer this health issue anymore. And you guys have a great week with that. Leo, this is the last official full week of Venus being in your sign, and then you're not going to have any planets in your sign for a while with the exception of the moon, which is actually kind of a welcome thing because it's been a long time since Leo has had no planetary action, which can be a nice break after a lot of the difficulties and the challenges that these planets have a tendency to bring to you. But it's no challenges at all this week for you Leos, as Venus is trined with Uranus, providing the finances that you need in order to build the foundation of your dreams, which is beautiful. But she also gives you a real reason to love yourself. So it's this very much about your internal process at the same time, and building your own personal foundation when it comes to your internal process. Now, a lot of people, and Leos are not an exception to this rule, unfortunately, a lot of people cover up these insecurities or these little things that they don't care for about themselves. They cover them up in some ways, or they'll cover them up with the opposite of how they actually feel. So if they don't feel like they're worth anything, they'll project out that they are the best things since sliced bread or things like that. Now, I'm not saying that all you Leos out there are doing it. Of course, that was just an example. But instead of covering up the things that make you feel insecure, it's really time to take a look at why those insecurities are there. What is rooting them there, or keeping them rooted there, I should say, and how can you eliminate them? This process helps so much better than trying to cover up your insecurities, because the more you cover them up, the more you wind up exposing them, and then it makes things more difficult. This week, it's all about embracing your own internal growth, because it's so important. And if you're a true Leo, you not only know how amazing you are, but you expect the rest of the world to know too. Now, it's not just about knowing how amazing you are. You've got to feel that amazing, and that's what the internal process will bring you. So you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, we of course still have that nasty T-square as Jupiter and Mars in your sign, T-square with Neptune and Saturn this week. And then Thursday, as the moon moves into Gemini, she is going to create a mutable grand cross, which is going to be a very difficult aspect for you guys this week. But let's look at the good news here, okay guys? Because Jupiter is trined with Pluto, letting you know that you can make all the changes that you need to make inside of yourself in order to expand on your goals and dreams. So when this T-square and this one-day mutable grand cross thing come up, they are definitely going to make you feel like there's a challenge trying to get what you want at any place and time. And these are definitely old challenges that keep coming up. And they're shown externally around you by the same things happening. Either delays are happening in what you want, or people are coming in and getting in the way. It's the same old obstacles over and over again, but really it's only one obstacle that plagues you over and over again, and this is your thought process on yourself. Now, the Virgo mind can be a beautiful thing. Is the Virgo mind is so intelligent. You come up with some of the best ideas. There's so much untapped resource in there. And a true Virgo who really loves and accepts themselves also can see their own worth in a very true and pure way. So they know their own importance. This isn't being egotistical. This is loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. Now, if you have insecurities, the Virgo mind is a totally different place. It can be a scary, horrible place. As you obsess over the details, you worry about things, and you beat yourself up for not being perfect. Ooh, I hate that word perfect. We're going to throw it right out the window, because nobody, not even Virgos, is perfect. It just does not exist. This week, it really is all about where your focus is. Is your focus on the things that are blessings to you and the parts where you are moving forward, or are you ignoring where you're moving forward and still not letting go of where you don't feel like you're moving forward? If this is the case, then this is the only old obstacle that is holding you back right now. It's your own mind and your own thought process. So get out of your head, Virgos, and look at the blessings around you. When you start to count your blessings more than the things that you don't have, the things that you don't have show up without you even realizing that it does. So you guys, have a great week with that. Libra, happy birthday to all the wonderful Libras born this week. We're going to kick off this week with a full moon. And of course, that moon is in opposition of your sun, which is what makes it a full moon. So it's definitely going to be impacting you guys. And of course, we've got that lovely Mercury retrograde still going on in Libra too, which is actually, it hasn't been really as bad as a lot of the past Mercury retrogrades have been. In fact, I really haven't heard the complaints that I normally do during Mercury retrograde time. So that tells me it's not just me, it's other people too. But really what it comes down to with any retrograde, and especially with this full moon in cardinal signs and in T-squared position with Uranus and Pluto, we're talking all kinds of challenges here. But they are definitely good challenges. When it comes down to it, you may feel as if you're sitting in the middle and you're pulled in two directions. The direction that you need to go, where you're taking care of everybody else and what they're doing, and the direction that you want to go, where you want to do something new, or focus on your career, or focus on something that you love in that career, instead of having to do a career that you have to do in order to put money on the table. Whatever it is, you're sitting in the middle of it going, I should go here, I should go there, I should go here, I should go there. And ultimately, if I know my Libras, they're going to choose the one they ought to do and not the one that they want to do, of course, because it's all about responsibility and taking care of your responsibilities, right? Well, the sun's aspect with Saturn reminds you of your responsibilities to you before everybody else. I know this is really difficult for you to get sometimes, but it's true. You actually have a responsibility to yourself and then to everybody else. And you spent so much time taking care of everybody else. It's time to take care of you. So this week, you don't have to make drastic changes. You don't have to put yourself and your family at risk. You just have to do and take the steps towards where you want to go. And you can be just as successful, if not more, than anybody else. So you guys have a great week with that. Scorpios, you have no idea. I have waited months and months and months to be able to deliver this horoscope to you guys this week, because it's time to sit back, relax, and feel the love and appreciation that's coming to you this week. That's right. No more Saturn, no more challenges. You've had a lot of lessons. You've learned a lot of lessons. This week is the prize at the end of all of those lessons. It is time, really, to be shown that appreciation, not just from other people, but look in the mirror and show yourself that appreciation too, because after all, you're the one that worked on it. You're the one that made it what it is, and you're the one that learned the lessons that you needed to learn. Now is the time for you to reap the benefits of that. It's all about those that love you and that appreciation that comes to you this week. Now, of course, appreciate it, celebrate it, love it, but don't let it get to your head, because if you let it get to your head in an egotistical way, well, trust me, you're going to fall from grace. Seriously, trust me on that. I've done that one before. Don't let it get to your head, but appreciate the heck out of it, because these times of life are what makes all the other stuff worth it. So you guys have a great week with that. Sagittarius, Saturn officially in your sign now and in T-squared position with Jupiter, Mars, and Neptune, is feeling like a lead weight that's keeping you from moving forward in anything. And for a Sagittarian, this is a very bad thing, because no Sagittarian likes a lead weight holding them down. It's really an emotional weight too when you think about it. Not, of course, obviously, not a physical one, but more of an emotional one, as these old things that have come up and gotten in your way of moving forward before are starting to come back again. And this is usually the point where you throw your hands up in the air and you go, see, this is what always happens, and this is why I can't do this. Well, on Thursday, when the moon moves into Gemini and makes this and moves into opposition with Saturn, we're talking a mutable grand cross here. So now it also seems like you don't have the time to get any of these things done. Now, before you explode, take a step back and stop really quick. And remember who you are. Sagittarians don't take the word no very well, even from themselves. So why are you taking the word no now? It's time to step out of your frustration with all of these things and figure out why these delays are there. It's not because you're not meant to do it. It might be because you need to look at something else. But more important than anything else, it really has to do with how much time you're spending here. So get out of your heads, Saggies, and see what you can do with these, because I guarantee you it's going to be awesome. You guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, Pluto's position in the T-square between Uranus, the Sun, and Mercury, as the Sun and Mercury kind of flip places in that T-square, sort of have you feeling like you've got to make a choice between two things. One thing is something that you've always done, you love to do, and it provides some sort of security, and the other one is brand new and exciting, and you really want to do it, but it's a little risky, and taking risks is not something that Capricorns really do a lot of. I mean, some do, but the general Capricorn likes to make sure that there's that like security behind it before they take that risk. This week it really is all about looking at it for what it is. Of course, you don't have to make a choice between the two things. You can bring them together. And Pluto's aspects with Neptune and with Jupiter are really showing you that now is the time to be able to expand on your goals. And really the obstacle is presented with that aspect with Neptune, where it's all about the thought process here, especially when it comes to deep emotional thoughts. There is no obstacle. You're putting the obstacle in front of you by thinking that you don't have enough time to be able to do both things. So this week, you don't have to plan everything. Why not just see what comes of this new thing while continuing to enjoy the old thing that you've already had all this time? No big decisions need to be made this week. Nothing needs to be done right now. And there's no reason for you to worry yourself over something that hasn't really happened yet. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius. You know, the Aquarian mind is a very useful tool, but it can also be a ridiculous waste of time at the same time. Take it from me, having an Aquarian mind myself, you really can spend too much time in there thinking about things. And the Aquarian way is to come up with some great, wonderful and powerful ideas, but not necessarily the best at actually putting those ideas into place or doing something with those ideas. They tend to stay up here while we try to figure out about 10 or 15 different ways that we can make those happen, and really what we're doing is not doing anything with them. This week, it's time to back up those big ideas with some big actions. Once you have the idea, come up with the basis of what you need to do and get it done, for crying out loud. Start doing something with it. The longer it stays in your head, the longer it's not out there for the world to see or for the world to share in. And if I know my fellow Aquarians, there's some amazing ideas in there. But self-doubt and negative mind chatter kind of sort of make you feel like they have to stay in there because everybody else is going to think it's ridiculous. And trust me, Aquarians come up with some really quirky ideas. I've been told some of them are ridiculous, but I've also taken some of those brilliant and beautiful ideas and turned them into something that was spectacular, even if it was a little bit different or quirky. And besides, Aquarians like to be different anyways, right? We don't follow the crowd, we lead that crowd. So you guys, make sure that you're doing something with those ideas this week so that they don't fall to the wayside and become just a tragic memory of a great idea that you had but didn't do anything with, because there really is nothing more tragic than that. And you guys have a great week with that. And finally, our Pisces. It is a little bit of a difficulty this week as Neptune is still, of course, in that T-squared position with Saturn and Mars and Jupiter. And it's definitely going to have you having some really deep emotional thoughts and feelings too, but really thoughts about your own success and whether or not it's actually going to happen or not. Now, these destructive thoughts, of course, are the nail in your coffin there. Once you get them and you're holding on to them, it really is going to keep you from moving forward. But then, of course, on Thursday, when the moon makes this immutable grand cross instead of a T-square, it's going to prove those thoughts by making it seem like you don't have time for anything anyway. So what's the point let's just walk away. This is all old stuff going on. You've been down this road before, maybe not with the same situation, but definitely similar situations. And the big thing is that Neptune's aspect with Pluto is telling you or showing you that changes need to be made inside of you in order to succeed, not everybody else around you. You have no control over everybody else around you. You have only control of what's going on inside of here. So, while you're constantly fighting for what you want, you're not going to get it, unfortunately. It's that fight that seems to be the obstacle that stands in everybody's way. This week, do what Pisces do best and go with the flow. See what the universe has specifically for you. I'm sure it's 1,000 times better than what your ideas are on what you want. And be brave enough to just allow the process to happen to you. You never know. Before you know it, you're right where you want to be and further. And I know that you guys can do it. So you guys, have a great week with that. Thanks for watching the horoscopes again this week, guys. I'm the Heavy Metal Psychic, of course. Don't forget to check out our links and that 13-card tarot for 2015. It is now officially October this week, so 1 month down, 3 months to go before the 2016 reading is officially gone. It'll be retired on December 31st. These 13-card readings, unfortunately, only go out the last 4 months of the year. So you want to make sure that you get yours ASAP so that you don't have to wait for it at the end of the year, of course, because I get the most orders that last week of December, or that last couple of weeks of December. So get them in now while you can. That way you have it beforehand. And, of course, you can find out all the wonderful things that are going to happen for you, and maybe not so wonderful things that are going to happen for you for 2016. The good news about this reading is that you'll be able to be prepared for it well in advance. And it's definitely one of my clients' favorite readings and my most popular one every year. So don't forget to go in there, check it out, and get it ordered. Thanks so much for listening to the horoscopes again. I'm Melissa Bruce again, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and I will see you guys next week. Make it a great one.